If you're struggling to make the kind of money you believe you deserve, this video is 100% for you. Whether you're in business, whether you're working for someone, whether you're just starting up, this is for you 100%. And now what's interesting about this technique I'm about to share is it doesn't just apply to business or money making. It actually applies to every single area of your life. So it's super powerful. And I was on a call with a client earlier and it inspired me. I said, I've got to make a video on this because this is going to help a lot of people. Okay. So this client, he came to me and he said, look, Andre, I've been in business for 3 years. I know my job inside out now. He goes, but I'm struggling. I'm really struggling to make the kind of money that I would like to make. I said, well, how much money would you like to make? He said, I'd like to make a profit for one. I said, okay, that's a good place to start. I said, but what's holding you back? What do you think is holding you back? And he said, well, two things. He said, first, when I started my business, I didn't have any connections. I didn't know anyone. So as a result, it was really hard to get started in the industry. And I said, okay, fair enough. I said, what's the second reason? He said, well, the second reason is this. I didn't have any money. I started with almost nothing. And it's taken me such a long time to just gain momentum as a result of that. I feel like I'm behind all of my competitors. I feel like they had money to start with and it just boosted things for them. And I said, no, those two things are absolutely logical. If you've got the right connections, if you've got money, of course, you're going to start your business on a totally different level than starting from the bottom, from scratch. However, success is not impossible, okay? Success is not impossible. I said to him, this is what you have to do. And I told him a story about when I started business. I said, I started business for two reasons. One, I wanted to work less. I was tired of spending all my time working and being mentally and emotionally spent by the end of the day. And that drain led on to my weekends. And I was like fed up of it. I said, look, I need more time to myself, but I want more money at the same time. So I need to work less, but earn more. And he kind of laughed when I said that. He goes, is that really possible? And, he's of Asian descent, like, Indian background. And he said, well, look, in our culture, we're always taught you've got to work hard if you want anything. And I said, no, I totally hear that. And I said, well, from my experience now, it's not about working hard. It's about working smart and consistently. Being smart means knowing what you want. Being consistent means showing up every day at the time you say you're going to show up. So when I started business, I said, I'm going to dedicate 3 hours of my day to working. I said, the rest of the time is for me to do whatever I want, to figure out what I want to do in my life. And in those 3 hours, I spent a lot of time, trying to figure out, okay, how do I do this and that in business? How do I get my name out there? I had no idea. I started literally from nowhere and I had no money. So it was just me by myself. I only had enough money to cover my rent for about 12 months at the time. Okay, my rent, my bills, that kind of thing. So what set me apart from him is that I was very clear on exactly what I wanted. One, I wanted to work a certain amount of time. I was clear on it and I did not go over that amount of time. Once that 3 hours was met, that 3 hours was met. Didn't matter what happened. I'm not working. Okay. Two, I knew exactly how much I wanted to make. I wanted to make the same or more amount of money than in 1 month than I made in a year annually at my previous day job. So my previous day job at that time, this is around 2012, paid about £37,500 annually. Okay, so I was determined. So I'm going to make more than that. I don't know how it's going to happen. I didn't think about how it was going to happen. I just knew that was what was going to happen. After 9 months of not making a single penny, I got a contract out of the blue, from nowhere. Right, literally just fell in my lap out of the sky. And I kid you not, they paid me 45 grand for a month's worth of work. 45 grand. I got 45 grand for months. That was the most amount of money I had seen in one go. And the most amount of money at that time that I had seen in my bank account. I felt on top of the world. Okay, so the key here, if you haven't already noticed, is knowing what you want, being clear and being consistent. So a lot of people think they know what they want, but they don't. They absolutely don't. And you say, well, I do. I know. I want to be a millionaire. Okay, if that's what you want, or I want to be in a loving relationship, right? Whatever it is you want. Now, Knowing this is the difference between someone who knows what they want and someone who doesn't know what they want. A person who knows what they want thinks about only what they want at all times of the day when they're awake. That is their predominant thought. That is the thought that occupies their headspace at all times. This is what they speak about. This is what they breathe. This is what they eat. And that's how I was those first 9 months. I was just thinking about, look, I've got to make more money in 1 month. Somehow. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. And I felt great. And I was really enjoying myself because I had this freedom now. I didn't have to wake up to someone else's schedule. I didn't have to do things based on what they wanted and their demands were, So I felt great. So those first 9 months, I felt absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible, right? So these are the keys. Knowing what you want. It's simple, right? It's so simple, but don't overlook it. And then being consistent with that knowing, taking that knowing into your everyday, no matter what you're doing. If you're washing the dishes, you tell yourself, hey, washing these dishes, I'm thinking about, having better health. Or I'm thinking about how perfect my health is. I'm thinking about how perfect my next relationship's going to be, or my current relationship, whatever it is you want, it doesn't matter. Think about it in a way that you're seeing it as ideal, as perfect, as complete, okay? And know exactly what you want. Let it consume you, become one with it, and the how will happen as if by magic. And this has been my experience consistently through life. Every time I have really wanted something, I keep it on my mind constantly, It's always on my mind. I'm playing with the idea, but always in a positive, idealistic manner, okay? And this is what you need to do with whatever you want in your life, whether it's more money, whether it's better friends, whether it's to live in a certain place. I did this every time. I wanted to live in a mansion. I wanted to have a swimming pool, a tennis court. I wanted to have lots of land. When I was a kid growing up in Africa, one of my cousins, his dad's dad, so his grandfather was a rich man, and he had this house which had, I remember, a swimming pool, a tennis court, right? And those were the things I wanted. And I remember going there once for holiday, and I was like, wow, this place is incredible. It's massive, and it's got these things, and these things are just brilliant. I'd never seen that before anywhere, okay? And I wanted that for myself. And you know what? I got it. In just a few years of working for myself, I got that. So anyway, enough about that. Enough about me. What do you want? What do you want to achieve? And you know what? Let's make this video right here for those who made it this far, because not many people do, to be honest. People have short attention spans. People just want something that's going to entertain them straight away. And if they're not entertained, they move on. I was like that too. I used to be swiping all day long. But anyway, let's make this video the platform, right? Comment below on exactly what you want, and let's get that for you. Let's make this your promise that whatever you write here, you are going to get. There's going to be no excuses. There's going to be nothing that holds you back. And by writing it here, you're committing that you're going to keep this on your mind until the opportunity presents itself. And then when it does, you're going to step up to the plate. You're going to take advantage, and it will be yours. As it is written, so shall it be. Boom! Good evening to you, my dears.